Hi, it's Facius Tech. I kind of want to bring this to your attention of the masses, if in a way. This is a Zelda Game and Watch console. I think it come out in 2021. Well, I got mine in 2021 December. Great little handheld. I thought this is great. I kind of knew sort of you could hack it. Stack Smasher had unlocked the processor in it, so you could basically dump the firmware and then modify it and or put your own firmware on there, which is the Retro Go, which is great. It's got loads of great emulators, game like just basic, I mean, like NES, Game Boy, Master System, Mega Drive, to say the least. That kind of range of systems. It was good, but you had to flash the thing every time, which either meant taking it apart, connecting to the solder test points, or if you'd done like me, you'd sort of broke the test points out to USB-C ports, so you could kind of do it that way, which is good. I had it set up to play, just pick up and play sort of Tetris type games on there, which is all great, good and well. But then someone in the background was working on an SD card mod, which was good, but it was all closed source firmware, closed source hardware. It was until recently, I think it was start of this year, that it started to open up. People started to write the software that was needed, which was a massive undertaking. There's two different versions. There's the Retro Go, and then there's Retro Go SD version, which is I've got on here, which means that you can have an SD card. So instead of having to flash a system every time you wanted to add a ROM, take a ROM off, where you'd have to back the saves up and then rewrite them onto there, all you do is pop out your SD card, pop it into your PC, put your ROMs on it, then pop it back in. It's that simple. It is an absolute game changer. And the reason I like this handheld the most, probably the handheld that I use the most, is because literally you press the button and there you go, you're playing a game. It's that quick. I always like this to call this my anti-doom scrolling device. Basically, instead of, like, you know, when you're waiting for your 3D printer to warm up, you normally like get your phone out, have a look on social media, or do whatever, Discord or Instagram or whatever. I normally instead I go on this, just a little bit of Dr. Mario, or the printer's heated up, or waiting for a Raspberry Pi image to get flashed. You know, you can just pick this up and just pick up and play straight away, straight back into the games. I'll give you a quick, if you're not really unfamiliar with the sort of the way this works, I'll show you. I'll give it a demo. If you want to get into the normal firmware, hold game, press the power button, you'll get into the game like that. If you want to get into Retro Go, this you can, there you go, you can play all the other games if you want, but if you want to get to Retro Go, press game and then press left, and then it'll boot up. You got the different ROMs, similar to sort of RetroPie, sort of a front end, or the other various other ones. You got your nice little, you know, cases, yeah, box arts there, and then you scroll down, got your NAS. I've got some Game & Watch. I feel like all the Game & Watch games on there, 45 of them. Game Gear, Genesis, Pokemon Mini, which is great. This is good pick and play stuff. And then there's a few homebrew ones. There's the Mario World. These are made from the leak source code. It's like, you know, they've recompiled for this hardware. They've got Zelda, Link to the Past, and this one, which I'm not really familiar with, but I think it's a Pico 8 game. But don't get excited, there's no Pico 8 emulator, there's not enough RAM. And then you go back to there. So I'll show you a bit more of the hardware mod. It's quite, it's not easy to do, let's put it that way. Basically, you have to, there's a new Game & Watch Manager software, which is good for the unlocking, which you can use. There's test points on here that the Mario and the Zelda units. But if you're going to do this, do it with the Zelda unit. You get the extra 2 buttons. It makes a world of difference, and it just looks a bit nicer as well. But yeah, you have I've got like this, which is the test points are 1.27 millimeters apart. Which one are these? Because it's like basically half of the usual headers. So I got these pins, and you can basically poke them in the hole, angle them over, and then you connect this side to your Pi Pico, and that's what you use to unlock it. So once it's unlocked, it takes a few steps, about 5 steps. That should all go well. Then you have to upgrade your flash storage. You can't have dual boot with the original flash, because the original flash is 4 megabytes and the original firmware takes up the 4 megabytes. So what this SD card mod does as well is caches the games. So they don't load it every time from the SD card, they'll get cached onto the memory card, onto the flash memory card. So basically you can, I think it's about 8 meg and above. I've got a 64 meg one on here, which is a bit harder to solder because the SMD version rather than the SOP 8 version, which is what comes off it. And then once you've upgraded that, you can get a SOP 8 and then 16 megabytes, which is I think what everyone kind of, if you're not great at soldering, uses, and it should be fine. And then you've got a little flex PCB here, which these pins on the side here, they solder, I don't know if you can see that well, they solder onto the side of the chip on, as you can see here, sort of through my 3D printed case. And then it's got a few bits of jelly bean parts on there, a few resistors, capacitors. I'm not sure what that other one is in the middle, but then yeah, solder on your SD card, one of these clicky SD card adapters. And then there's like solders to the board, and it should all stay in place. The thing is that you can have, I've got a 3D printed shell that someone come out with. I'll put all the link for all this in my description for the blog post. You'll get to get all of this info, better info to read at your leisure. But yeah, because I was thinking, what are you going to do about cutting a hole in the shell? I thought you could just slot it here, but it kind of like, it's one of them like overlapping shells, so you wouldn't be able to. They were like a big gap, so it looked kind of nasty. So I come up with a 3-piece jig for doing basically a 2mm drill bit. Will get you this hole. You have the first one that you put on, you drill 4 holes, yeah, and then you put the second one on, which drills 3 holes, which are in between, if you look, in between them 4 holes. So then, and then I've got another one that you slot on, and then you can just run the drill bit across, and then sort of finish it off with a little set of needle files or something else, something other. So we get a nice little slot as well, which is good. I've kind of gone for this 3D printed case because why the hell not? It's see-through, well, semi-transparent. You can kind of see the mod. And you can see it lights up. But yeah, it's really like an absolute game changer of a mod. You can fit, I think it's 1,000 ROMs per system. You know, that is insane. I've got a 8 gig SD card, and it's nowhere near filled. Not sure if there is a limit. I think it might be 512 gig, which is just obscene. But if it's all what you got, it's all what you got. I have got another system there with a 32 gig SD card, and that runs fine. That is pretty much it, really. And like I say, it's just pick up and play instantly, straight where you want to, and then you can resume the game. And that's it, like, that is it. Straight in there, playing. Like I say, you can still get back to the nice clock if you want to have the clock animation on, because I know people like that. It's just like the best of both worlds, really. It makes the console absolutely perfect. What it should have been out of the box, something like this. It's just amazing. Just cannot say enough about it. So if you want to do this mod yourself, I've done a complete guide, top to bottom, from getting a fresh unit, using this, I suppose you'd have to solder one of these together, but it's a lot easier than trying to solder to the console. You got this, the unlocking. Even if you want to just do the unlocking, flash and retro go, you can use this. But you probably want to go the full whole hog and get on the SD card mod. There is no SD card mod for the Mario unit because it is a different circuit board. It has not got this big triangle missing out the middle of it. It's a little bit different. There's a few different ones for the Mario ones. It's not really... most people just are centered around the Zelda version. If you can get yourself a Zelda version, you can get them if you're struggling to get them locally. They do sell them on AliExpress. I've seen them for, I think, about £28, Great British pounds on there. So, like, brand new in the box, which is quite good, because I know basically they were selling them. I think they're selling the last lot of stock when I was looking a few years ago, and they're selling them off like 25 quid each. I think I bought a few then, but since then they're pretty much off the shelves, unfortunately, unless you can find one. You know, you might have one in a drawer somewhere, but yeah. So hopefully this just gets it out there that there is an absolute amazing mod for this. As always, link in the description, and thanks for watching. Bye.